Okay, I'm going to go through my collection of Ouija boards, also known as spirit boards, which have much older history, going back to ancient times. But the first Ouija board in the U.S. Was made by Kennard Novelty Company in 1890, who eventually changed their name to Ouija Novelty Company. So here's a picture of that board here. Now in 1898, the company sold it to a man named Willaim Fuld, and you can learn more about him through the link to the website, which is dedicated to him. And these are the line of boards which I own. I own the Fuld boards. Now there's a lot of different types of Ouija boards out there, and you can check out the link to the Museum of Talking Boards. I owned a couple different boards from other manufacturers, but the only boards I collect are the Fuld boards. There's something about the designs and the spiritual sense that I enjoy. So I've been collecting for about 10 years now. Now the first board, the first Fuld board, just adopted the Kennard design. So it was basically the same thing, but it used the bird's eye maple for the finish, for the veneer. But then through time, these boards evolved. Now my oldest Fuld board is this Ouija manufactured in 1919, between 1919 and 1938, and these were produced in Fuld's factories on Hartford, Lamont, and Federal Streets in Baltimore. There was a lot of competition to the Ouija manufacturers, so Fuld chose to stamp his name in red on the bottom. You can see the red stamp here. And this board actually has a much shinier and thicker finish than the old boards by Kennard. So it makes them very smooth. It's about a 1/4 inch thick and about between 22 by 15. Now you can see the design is somewhat plain. It's got the face sun and the star and the moon to the right, but it's still a lot nicer than the older boards, the Kennard boards. Now the next board I have here is a Mystifying Oracle made in the 1930s. Fuld made these boards as like a cheaper alternative to the Ouija in order to beat out the competition. There's a lot of competition out there. So this board is about a 1/4 inch thick, 22 by 15, just like the other one. But you can see now that the design has been updated in the lower corners where you show actually people playing the Ouija instead of the stars. And this isn't too long before Fuld started to print on paper over some type of hardboard instead of printing directly on the wooden boards. So just before that happened, Fuld created a Ouija and a Mystifying Oracle, which are believed to be his last wooden boards. Now the Ouija model shown here is from an advertising photo. It's extremely rare. In fact, the Fuld site stated that they've never seen one in person. However, the Mystifying Oracle version, which is the same board except for the name stamped at the top, or printed at the top, is still very rare, but can be found. So that's what I have here. So it was made just before 1940. This one is in great condition with only minor types of wear, and it came with the wooden planchette as well, as you can see. And you can see the updated sun and the moon. So there's a little bit of an update to the graphics there. Now the finish is bird's eye maple. And this is the Ouija board design that most people are familiar with. Okay, so this is the last board that Fuld made, this one here. It was made in the early 60s at his 1318 East 4th Avenue location. You can see it retains the graphics from the last board, except this is a Ouija model. So unfortunately, by this point, the quality of the boards went down in order to save costs. This board is made out of Masonite, and it's print on a paper covering. In 1966, Fuld sold his company to Parker Brothers, and they did a lot to actually popularize the board and gain sales out of them. In fact, it outsold Monopoly. The Ouija's outsold Monopoly. In the late 1960s, Parker Brothers made 3 boards. One of them looked almost identical to Fuld's last board, and another one was just a smaller version with rectangular corners. But yet another one was made out of timber. It was made out of timber wood, and it's the only wooden Parker Brothers board. It was made in 1967, and it's known as the 602 model. This one here is in excellent condition. It came with the wooden planchette, and as you can see, it also came with a custom carrying case here. These can be found, but they are pretty rare. The only problem I have with this board, the only gripe I have with it is that it's smaller. than the other boards. It's not the 22 by 15. It's quite a bit smaller in dimension. So that's the only gripe I have with it. So that's my collection, which I'm pretty satisfied with. It may be complete, maybe not. Maybe in the future I'll buy another board. I can't really say for sure. You can go ahead and check out the links that I've left, and if you have any questions or any comments, just go ahead and ask.